Peace, fam. This is Mustafa Talks Tech, your digital marketing specialist and tech evangelist, coming at you again with another episode of the Mustafa Talks Tech Show. On this episode, I am so happy and so excited that we have the owner of LyingClient on the interview. As promised to those who follow the page, you know I've been talking about this one for a while and have really been looking forward to this interview. I'm excited to interview her and hear her expertise and just hear so many things that she has to teach us today. And before I go into that, let me just give you a little bit about LyingClient. This is from the website LyingClient.com. Introducing LyingClient.com, a vital platform empowering business owners and service industry professionals to defend against scams, Karen Kevin customers, fake reviews, chargebacks, and refunds. So that gives you just a little bit of the gist of LyingClient. But I'm going to bring on the founder, the owner, who is the brainchild of this great concept to take us further in. And we're going to bust up and we're going to get those LyingClients today. Is that right? All right. Let's bring to the stage at this time. How you doing, sis?
I am great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Fantastic.
That was a great, wonderful introduction of me. I was blushing. I was like, oh, okay. That's me. He's talking about me.
Well, as I say,
someone else talks about you.
But as I said, that I saw the profile on you on Black Enterprise about maybe a month or so ago, and I was blown away. And I shared it on my Mustafa Talks Tech Facebook page, and a few people that saw it, they were like, wow, that's a whole different type of concept. People were blown away by it. And the thought originated in my mind that I got to get this sister on the show. Somehow, some way, I got to find her. If I got to drive to where she at, I got to get the sister on the show because we want to hear about these LyingClients. So you are very much appreciated, and I thank you for taking the offer and coming on to the show.
I am grateful that you were able to see it. So me and Dante Lee, who is the owner and creator of Black Enterprise, had been speaking for months about what I wanted to do as far as bringing the information or the about LyingClient to the public, general public. I'm trying to think of the words I want to use right now. But anyway, we wanted it to become public knowledge, what it is that I created. And we all know from something bad, we got to find something good. So this was birthed from pain, basically. I'm a general contractor. Less than 9% of Black ladies are general contractors in the state of South Carolina. And I'm happy to be one of the licensed general contractors. And so what happened is we had, and I'm in business with my husband as well. I am more of the HR hiring, contracting person. He's been doing it since he was 14 years old. So he knows about roofing, he knows about concrete measurements, he knows all that stuff. So we just paired up together and decided to do it this way. Well, anyway, we had, in the beginning, we had really good customers. And I want to say 90% of customers are honest and decent and really good people. Towards the middle of, I would say, 2019, 2020, we had experienced 3 to 4 bad customers back to back. We did a contract with them. They didn't honor it. And people say all the time, oh, it's so easy. Just take them to court, get your money. But they don't realize that it's not that easy. You have to go through a whole lot when you're writing a contract for a customer and they don't honor it. So, and sometimes customers will find 1 or 2 nitpicky things wrong that they just want you to adjust or fix. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be able to be honest with your contractor. But when you're requesting that your contract is only $15,000 and you're requesting only pay 7 or 8, you're not being honest with yourself or with that contractor. So unbeknownst to us, the person who had done this prior a few years before to someone else. And I said, if there was a way that we could be forewarned about people like this, then I am so sure that other contractors or other people that are in business would not have serviced them. And that is when I decided that I wanted to protect, nurture, and shelter other business owners or anyone that works in the public from people like this. So,
Yes.
again, I am so grateful that you were able to see that interview that I did, excuse me, that press release that I did with Dante, and to understand it. One of the major things that I've seen is the concept. So they hear LyingClient and they think it's funny because that name is funny when you hear it, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
think it's serious. They're like, oh, is this a real, company? Is this a real website? And so I have to go in and explain and say, yes, it's legitimate. It is my newborn, so to speak. It's been in existence for 3 years now. It's still a baby. It's still in its infancy stage. We're getting the brand name out there. People like you bringing me on to your platform, and I want to say thank you again for bringing me onto your platform. Absolutely. So that other people can know what we're doing. But I have been amazed at the growth in the last 2 months. It has been phenomenal. People are understanding that it's not a joke. It's not just a cliche words together, but it is actually an embodiment of safety for the professional environment. Anybody that works in the community needs to know about this. And I'm going to be quiet and let you ask your questions because I know I said a lot in a little time.
Well, that was my first question, asking about your background in entrepreneurship and what led to LyingClient. You talked. You just mentioned that the name does sound funny, and no disrespect to your professionalism, but when I first heard it, I chuckled to myself. I was like, "Wow, LyingClient." I was like, "Wow, okay." I mean, it is catchy. It makes you laugh, but it makes you think. And after you laugh, you're gonna think. So, when you were coming up with the concept, was it a consideration that it was something that would make people laugh, or were you thinking of this would be hooky, to get people to see the greater message or mission? What was the thinking of that?
So I'll give you a little background. So I'm a mother of 3 sons. I have all sons. I don't have a daughter. And my sons and my husband's, they know if they do something to me, but they make me laugh, I'm good again. My anger goes away. I'm good. One of the biggest things you can do for me is get me a ticket to a comedy show. I love to laugh.
Okay.
So when I was thinking of this concept, which is really derived from a really sad, negative place, I was like, okay, it isn't the best topic to talk about because who wants to admit that they've been scammed? Who wants to admit that, that they had a fake chargeback? So you don't necessarily want to talk about this. So I said, I need something that makes people know. And I hate a liar. I hate a liar. So I said, how do we do this? So I really brainstormed and just wrote down names of the websites. And when I said LyingClient, my sons were in there in the area I was sitting in, and my husband happened to walk in, and they all looked at me like this when I said it. When you watch TV and how they highlight that moment and they slow it down, and it's like, they all do that to me. And
right.
When I looked at them doing that to me, and everybody said, yeah, let's go with that. Don't change it. And then I said, should I spell it a different way? Or should I spell it grammatically correct? Because, now we can put a I in another way or different things. Yep. And I had a graphic designer, and he asked me, he said, what do you want me to design for your logo? And I said, definitely the name LyingClient has to be in it. But that symbol right here, I don't know if you can see my screen or not. Let me go here. That symbol, the reason why it looks like that is because it's called confusion. And what a liar does is try to confuse you. So the logo was created based off of that. And then the words LyingClient again was made so you could get that chuckle and say, and then after you get that chuckle, you think about it, you like you did, what is she talking about? What is this for?
Okay. So for people who may be listening and we get it, LyingClient, and what are some of those digital scams or things that they should be worried about? Because we're in a time where people are a little bit more comfortable on the internet. I remember 20 years ago where people were afraid to even put their credit card on the internet, where now that's become so common. People will do it without thinking twice because they're secure with Amazon and eBay and PayPal. It's become considered more safe as opposed to 20 years ago, where people may not be thinking of those everyday scams or things that go on. So give us a little bit in your experience that some of those digital scams or things people should be aware of that they may not be looking at.
Okay, let me say this. I did my homework and looked at all my scams because I knew with you being a digital marketing expert and knowing about tech that you were going to ask me that. I knew that question was going to come up. As I said, I was like, whatever your passion or your love is what you're going to talk about. So your whole platform is digital marketing media. You're all about that. So I knew you were going to ask that. And what's amazing is 2 weeks ago, we developed a page called Cybersecurity Business Security. And what it has on there is it talks about the scams that people are doing. So digital hacking is when they hack you, but you don't know you've been hacked. That is what gentle hacking is. And I don't even know why we use the word gentle, because it's not gentle. It really hurts people. Exactly. One of the things that people do digitally, and you're absolutely correct. Years ago, we thought the internet was a scary place. We were so careful with our information. But one of the things that is the major 80% of redirection. So you go into a website and you think you're going into, let's say, Citibank to do a transfer from your checking to your savings. They have gently hacked your information, and they're redirecting you to their website. But because it looks so close to what you really went into, you think that you have gone in and put your information in the correct website. That is a major one. That is a huge way of people's information getting hacked through digital means. So my background is in HR as well. Let me say that. So one of the other things is employment. When you go in, especially with recession right now, people are looking for jobs. Nobody goes into the unemployment office or into jobs anymore. They apply online. So what they're doing is they think that they're applying to, I'm just going to say Kmart. It's not even in existence anymore, but let's say Kmart. So you go in and you're putting all your information, your address, all the identifiers that you need when you open a new account. So you go in and you think that you're applying for a job. Well, that employment page that you're in is not the correct employment page. And so what you need to do, again, let me say this too. Most people that are criminals are geniuses. They just use it for evil instead of good. They are very intelligent. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize how intelligent these scammers and these hackers are. They are very intelligent, and they depend on several things: your lack of knowledge, your vulnerability, wanting a job, or wanting to transfer this money to an account. And they use digital means because it's so convenient. Think about it. Yep. You said you were going to drive to me to meet me, and all you had to do was send me a message. You sent me a message, and you said, "Hey, I saw your information. I would like to talk to you." We didn't even have to do anything, and we spoke. We spoke so much about everything that was going on, just digitally. It is a wonderful thing. The problem is people use it for bad. I love social media. I find out things in different cultures that I have no idea that's happening. And I find out through digital media. I find out through social media. All these things that I wouldn't have known years ago. But again, those are the two more prevalent ones that are happening right now. The redirecting to the website and then gaining your information to then open accounts, to then commit fraud, identity fraud, things like that. That's happening.
And let me just jump off on both of those points. I had that experience a few years ago with Wells Fargo, who I used to bank with, and I received a email saying that I needed to update some information, and it looked like Wells Fargo had the logo. The email looked legit. I clicked the link, and it took me to what looked like Wells Fargo website. I mean, it looked, nothing would have threw me off. So I was able to log in, put some information, but something just didn't feel right. And so I backed away from it. and I gave some information, but not all my information. But something wasn't feeling right about this. So I closed that out, screenshotted, excuse me, closed that out, and I called Wells Fargo, and I called they routed me to the fraud department. I gave them the whole scenario of what happened, and I felt like a fool. And they told me it happens more often than United. It's not you. And they got some information, and they got the email, and they say they will follow up on it. But that legitimately happened to me just a few years ago. I mean, nothing would have threw me off that this wasn't Wells Fargo I was going through. So,
and 2 points I want to bring up. You're definitely not a fool. They again are geniuses. They know how to make it look just like the other platforms. Copying a website takes no time. You can literally clone a website in like 30 minutes. The redirect and the questions they ask you probably threw you off. Let me say that as a warning too. So a lot of times, if you're used to your bank's forms, you know if they're asking questions out the norm. Pay attention to that. The second thing is people count on your embarrassment to not report on LyingClient.com. They're hoping that you're so embarrassed that this almost happened to you or this did happen to you that you don't report it. The only way that things like this are uncovered, scams, hackers, things like that are uncovered, is by us sharing. And that's why I said it's a community. LyingClient is a community because it allows us to tell what has happened. You just admitted something that wasn't your fault. You know how many people that happened to that have never admitted it? Because they are embarrassed, because they're like, I'm highly intelligent. You're a very intelligent person. You probably college educated, you know digital media. You're not like a person that wouldn't be knowledgeable of the internet, of websites. So then for that to happen to you, you're like, I'm so embarrassed. I don't want to tell anyone. They're counting on you not telling anyone so that they can get 10, 20, 30,000 more people before it's known. The difference between LyingClient and the news is, one, it's a website, so it's always there. You can go back to over 2 years ago and see the scams there if you choose to. The news waits about 10 to 12 weeks when it's become a widespread phenomenon, and then they report on it. LyingClient updates our scams every 2 hours. You are going to see real-time scams. If you go now and write a scam, it's going to show on the scam alert page. Whenever it's there, and we use all over, again, the USA. We don't just keep it local to a certain area like the news does. So the news, other than, the major networks, they're going to talk about things that's happening currently in their area. But they don't speak on things that are happening outside of the area. Because LyingClient is an American-based website, and it houses all the scams and all the client experiences in any zip code. You put any zip code in, and you're going to get the client experience that talks about what a customer or client did, and it's so user friendly. You literally put a zip code, the person's name or phone number, any of those things, not all, and it populates. And these are happening in real time. It's not 10 weeks ago. And again, what happened to you has happened to so many people. And I apologize to you on behalf of the people that I'll say this. I apologize it happened to you, but I'm glad that you were one of the ones that spoke up, because then Wells Fargo was able to go in and say, okay, this is happening. They were able to put that website on it's called the phishing, PHISHING.
That's what they said.
Phishing. Yeah. So that way, no one else goes there. Now, the bad thing is, after that has been put there, the hackers are smart enough to try to do it another way. And this is nothing. Over 33 million scam calls are done a day. 33 million scam calls are done. I like giving, I'm one of those people that like giving percentages and numbers and show you how it affects you and things like that. Just imagine how many people, elderly people, teenagers, who are not as wise that those calls happen to. I'm going to share some of my husband's information. My husband's working a job. He got a call that looked like the IRS. It said irs.gov. I'm not making this up. They said you didn't pay about $1,200 on your taxes last year. We're going to come to your job and arrest you. They said, we're going to embarrass you if you don't send us money today. So he called me and he was like, hey, baby, we got to move some money out of savings and checking. I got to pay this debt. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, this was before I even had the website. So this was years ago, like yours happened years ago. So he said, he said, he said, they called me. And I said, for what number? And he told me the number, whatever. And it's a 1-800 number. It looks so legit. And he said that I didn't pay back taxes. And I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want them to come arrest me. So they said, if I can do part of the money, I think 900 out to 1,200 today, they want to arrest me. So I said, well, give me the number. I called the number back. It played this auto recording. If you're trying to call back, you can't be reached. We'll call you back. The IRS is not doing that. So that was already like, whatever. Then I said, so how do they want you to transfer this money? Because at that time, it was limited on how they could get funds from you. So they told me the instructions that they gave them. They gave him these instructions that were like, no IRS representative would ever tell him to do this. So again, like I said, it was just like this big red flag. So I said, let's play a game with them. I said, let them know the address of where you be working at and ask them to come during your lunch tomorrow. So he called them back. I'm sorry, when they called him back, because again, when I called the number, you couldn't reach anybody. When they called him back, this time they were really rude and forceful. They're like, we gave you time to get this money. You said you were going to transfer it to us, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, no. He said, I thought about it. I just prefer to go through the judicial system. If I owe money, then I need some type of receipt or paperwork. They never called him again.
Right. They're kind of so smart, but yet still kind of stupid.
Yes. My brother used to say that. You're so smart, so you stupid. You think you're smart, so you think you're smarter than everybody else, but you're so stupid.
Because I'm listening to this story, and then the way they're trying to get him to pay is not adding up to be a representative of the IRS. So you're so smart to pull the scam, but you're stupid in a lot of your implementation of it, where it raises the red flags.
Exactly. Wow. Like, if you're going to do something, do it all the way right. Like, have the IRS website cloned so that he can just go there and get his pay. Like, you didn't even have it all the way followed through. And because he was counting on that fear factor. If somebody tells you right now that you can avoid going to jail by paying $900 out of a $1,200 debt, you're going to be like, okay, maybe I did mess up my taxes. Because we're not CPAs. We don't do taxes. We don't know. So you're going to go, they're hoping that fear factor will make you not think rationally and just rush and do it. Because he literally said, babe, we got to transfer money out of savings and checking. And I could hear it in his voice. And he literally was like, you could hear it. He was upset. He was like, I don't want to be arrested. They're going to, come to my job and embarrass me. And so I'm hearing him. I'm like, we don't owe any money. We finally got money back for our taxes. That year we got a refund back. So how do we owe any money? This year we didn't have to pay back. And he was like, they said that we did something wrong. And so again, you're right. You gotta follow through with your whole plan if you're gonna scam somebody. Like, make it make sense. But they didn't. So yeah.
Let me run to you another scam. You may have heard of it. The text scam.
Okay.
Text, TXT. Maybe about a month or so ago, I had someone text me where they was like, "Hey Louise, what time are you coming to play our tennis today?" And I responded back, "Sorry, wrong number." And so the person began to initiate conversation where, "Hi, my name is so and so. I'm in California, da 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 da," and just kept talking and talking and talking. Then it was a woman, so she sent me some pictures. I guess that was supposed to just make me lose my mind.
You, right? Yeah,
exactly. And so I left that alone. And then about maybe 2 weeks later, someone else, I did research on it that this is an actual scam, that they act like they got the wrong text, and then they enter into conversation with you, make you feel comfortable, and then they start the real scam to try to get money or to route money to them. So another one tried it about 2 weeks after that scammer had did, but I was already up on my homework, and as soon as I saw what it was, I just shut them right down. And they were just like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Like, I'm up on the game right now. The first one, I wasn't naive, but I was like, I thought the legit was the wrong text. So I just went that way. But that's something that I see that I read about that is actually going on, that some people that I mentioned to, they weren't even aware that they text you acting like they got the wrong person, and then they enter a relationship and build you over time, and they built people out of money.
So there's three things that I want to put on really quickly because my short-term memory is bad. Romantic scams are at an all-time high. There is actually a Facebook page dedicated to romantic scams where people pretend to be somebody and they get money from those people. The other thing is I always share with people that my website is $30 for a whole year. Now,
Wow.
I know people are like, it should be for a month. I've had people criticize me because they say the value should be more. I want them to try it, all people to try it for that minimal amount so that they can be comfortable and see what I offer. The $30 is like Netflix. So let's say, for example, you sign up and you say, okay, I'm now a member of LyingClient community. Do you know that you can share the scams with everybody else? We literally put the most important scams in an email and send it to our email customers. So when you sign up for the website, you you put your information in. You know how you do it any website. And so if it's a really prevalent scam that's going on, we send you an email and we highlight that scam so that you know this is one to watch out right now. So for example, that text scam. And the one I thought you were going to talk about is the one where they, whenever you respond, they then can get your information if you have not closed out your Google profile. So let's say, for example, your Google profile is still public. Most people, 99% of people, their Google profile is public. I'm going to just tell that now. So
okay, break that down to it.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear you.
I said break that down to it.
Okay.
I said break that down to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Most people's Google profile is public. Unless you go in and manually change it to private, it's going to stay public. So what happens is when you get a text from a number that you know is not yours, don't even say sorry, wrong number. You block it. Because what it's doing is it's giving permission when you respond to them. Just like if somebody calls you and they're like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is this Tamara? And you say, yeah, this is Tamara. As soon as you say yes, they take your voice and they use that to gain certain permissions on other things. So what you want to do is immediately engage. So if somebody sends something to you and you don't know who that person is, you block them. Because guess why? There are many ways of communicating with a person. So if you try to get me via Messenger and you couldn't have got me, but you did, because I knew you were legitimate, then you could have emailed me. I have people email me. Other interviewers that want to interview me, they've emailed me because they say, hey, we tried you on social media. We couldn't get you. I'm not sure. So they'll email me and they'll send me their company's information. But let's go back down what you were talking about. So whenever that happens, don't even tell them it's the wrong number. Human nature to be polite and say, hey, that's the wrong person. But unfortunately, again, they're counting on us to be nice and vulnerable. So what you want to do is immediately block that number, block any correspondence with them. Usually, the number that's going to respond again is going to be 2 digits different than that original number. You block them again. After the second attempt, they usually leave you alone and they don't try anymore. What they're trying to do is gain access again to all the information in your Google profile because it shows the last place you visited. So then they can say, hey, you met me at Ruth Chris. You had on a red suit. Because guess why? They can see your location. You probably posted a video of you at Ruth Chris for your birthday. So they're going to give you information to make you think that you really do know them. And at this time, they're still gathering information about you. They're still trying to figure out who you are and how they can get to your soft spot. Some people love animals. If you tell them I run I foster animals. Some people care about runaway kids. Some people care about leukemia, breast cancer. Whatever information they can find out about you, they're going to exploit that to get you to talk to them and get you to communicate with them. And then they're going to give you a sob story. And in that sob story, you go think, oh, I only gave them $10. But imagine 100 people giving them $10.
Yeah.
So again, there is a lot of scams. And again, like I said, we're like Netflix. You sign in with your account, and your account allows other people to see the real-time scams that are happening, the client experiences. And I definitely want to delve into that a little bit because I sent you a video. I didn't sleep for a whole night because of this. And I don't like talking about it, but I have to. So one of the prior careers that I did, I was a corpsman in the Navy. And a corpsman is like a medic. And I took care of people. And so when I got out the military, that's what I did as well. And I would do home visits where I would draw people's blood. I actually taught phlebotomy and physical exams. And one of the things that I would do would go in and draw blood for life insurance. Like say, for example, you had to get a physical to increase your life insurance, and they want to make sure you're healthy. And so I would go in and do that. Well, there was a lady who was a nurse, and she went in to do home care, and she lost her life. She is a mother of 6. It's in Connecticut. It's on the news. She went in to a home of a person who has a long rap sheet. They are criminal. They have assaulted other people. And when I say assault, you know what I'm talking about. They have hurt. And the investigator that he left her body in the basement. The investigator that went into to investigate and to find her body said that in 27 years, he had never seen a body that mutilated. I believe in prevention because, as you know, prevention is better than treatment. So if your doctor says, hey, Mustafa, your cholesterol is high, and you go and you take care of your cholesterol, that lessens your chance of a stroke. But if you don't ever get that physical and you don't ever know, then you're now more prone to a stroke, an aneurysm, a heart attack, things like that. I believe prevention counts. Unbeknownst to her, this person had a criminal record. She went into this home to care for this person with no security with her, no partner with her. She went by herself, and he took her life away. I'll say it like that.
Wow.
I believe, had she known prior to going in this home who she was dealing with, she may have said, no, I'm not going to take that contract. She had an option. She had a right to say no, or she had a right to say yes, but she may have put some things in place before she went in to treat this person. I believe, and again, I'm biased because I created LyingClient. It's my baby. I believe that is the reason why LyingClient client experiences are important. So you know who you're dealing with. We had a waitress a few months ago. Coffee was thrown in her face because they had a conversation about a political party going on. They were talking about who you voted for, who you voted for. And we all know we don't talk religion, we don't talk politics, and we don't talk how much you get paid on the job. So she decided she wasn't going to respond to the political conversation. The person assumed that she voted for another political party because she wouldn't speak, and they decided to throw coffee on her.
Wow.
Now, granted, who as a waitress would know that person did that? But if you have their picture and their client experience on the website, and you just happen to go in the zip code that you live in and say, hey, I wonder if this person is there, or anybody they should be aware of. If she had saw that person's picture on the website, because again, you can attach pictures. It's a very sophisticated website. If I have to say so myself, but you can put you can put the person's picture on there. You can look. This is an interview. This is my brag time. This is the time that
come on, sister. It's your stage today, sis. You go ahead.
Not sleeping to make sure this website was done. The money I spent to create this website. This is my time now to shine. So
come on.
You, but it is a very sophisticated website. You can literally put a picture, an attachment of the person there. So let's say, for example, she had gone in a week prior to this person coming into where she was working, and she saw their picture. She could have declined a conversation with them. She could have told her manager. You know, again, preventive measures is what this is about. And I hate fear mongering. I hate when people do pressure sales and they're like, if you don't get this now, you know, this could happen. I just feel like with the recession happening and the way crime and scams and things are happening right now, you would not be business savvy to not have access to a website like this. And again, I'm biased. Again, I'm looking at it from a different angle than most people. Most people want to just service their customer. They just want to do the best. It's from a passion. Your passion is digital media. You could probably tell me so much about digital media or make my eyes spin. I know most people get into something they love and they do the best at it, and they don't even want to think about the bad customers. But unfortunately, you have landlords who rent to tenants who they have to pay thousands of dollars to get the tenant out of their homes. You have real estate agents that go to homes and they're thinking this person that they're meeting is a person that sent them their license and their pre-approval. It is just so many things out there. And if you go to LyingClient and look at the client experiences, it is going to make your mind spin. If you even see how many people and how many things have happened. It was a young lady, just if you go to my social media, you'll see it. She got in a fight and was arrested for fighting in a salon because the person decided to keep making appointments and booking up the slot time that she could use for other customers, and they were canceled. So she decided to charge them for a service. The bank agreed with her and gave her the money. The young lady goes in her salon. It's recorded. It's on my social media. She goes in there and she's doing a service to a client, but she has money on her counter. The person walks in, because I don't want to call her a lady. I'm going to call her a woman. And she says to the person, the salon owner, why did you say you gave me a service? And she said, this was your fourth time canceling on me. I use that time for customers, because if you're not doing a service, that's time, money wasted. She reached behind her and grabbed the money off the counter to get the money back for the chargeback. She went to grab her hand to get the money out of her hand, and they began fighting. It's blurred out, but you can kind of see the camera drops, the phone drops. She went in there intentionally to start with this lady, because she records it before she even walks in the door saying, oh, you don't get to keep my $90. The money that she took off the counter was over $200. So she not only got the money back that she initially came in for, she grabbed even more money. The person at the salon grabbed her hand. Instead of calling the police, she reacted and grabbed her hand. Her touching her is why she got arrested, because they're saying that you assaulted her just like she assaulted you. So now this person is not only has a criminal record and being charged, they have a criminal record and being charged. They're out the money. Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's not as small or minimal as we try to make it, because we're hoping that this never happens to us. We're hoping that this is just,
Yeah. I just wanted to break everything you said. When I do these interviews, they're as much educational to me as I hope they are to the general public. So if you see me, I'm sitting here, I'm taking it in because I'm being educated as well.
right.
And I do these interviews for several reasons. One, I want to put spotlight on businesses in our community, people look like me and look like us, who may not get as much representation as they should as other communities. So
Right.
when I have my platform, I want to put spotlights on the people in the community look like me and look like us, who may not have $1 million budgets, may not have TV time, may not have this and that, but through this, someone can see it, and then someone can share it, and someone can learn about it. So I do these interviews to spotlight businesses, but also it's certain things in that business that I think is beneficial that will educate the community. Like this right here, what we're talking about here is, yes, you are a business. Yes, you are in business to make money. But what you're saying on this interview, this is educational stuff that people need to know. Like you broke down to me about, the Google profile being open. I didn't know that. So now I got to go back and, make my correction. So I learned something from that. And anyone that listens, they're learning, they're thinking, because I agree with you that, the 5 P's, proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Exactly.
So this is so educational to myself and to everyone that, if we stop right now, you've given enough jewels, enough information that people can be more aware and just be more watchful and not be so hunky dory this thing, everything is da da da.
Well, I thank you for saying that. And it's called naive and being vulnerable. We're naive because we're good people. So we think everybody else should be good people. We're naive because we believe in the good in people. It's just what it is. You want to always believe the best. You never want to go and approach a situation and think, okay, how, you don't want to be guarded or jaded. You want to walk in with a positive atmosphere. You want to have the energy. And I appreciate you saying that. My goal, amongst anything else, is to safeguard and protect people in the community. My major goal is to make sure that no one goes out of business, that no one loses their life, their livelihood, that they're stressing over situations like this. I don't realize sometimes, just in conversation, what I could have shared with a person until they come back and say to me, I looked into what you said and that was really good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just, talking. I love people. I talk to anybody. If you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you. And they'll say, you told me about this whatever. And I'm like, what? When did this happen? And they'll remind me. I've had a person that told me 3 years ago, you told me about a symptom that I was having, and I got checked, and I was pre-diabetic. Like, there's so many things that we can share, like you just said. I don't believe that we should gatekeep knowledge. I think that in our community, we should definitely go back to what the epitome of what we are, which is a community. We love each other. We want to see the best in each other. I think if we go back to those foundational things that we were taught when we were younger, we will be much better. And I am old fashioned. I'm a grandma's girl. I believe in just the genuineness of people. And I do appreciate you saying that. It motivates me when I hear you say things like that to continue to go. There are nights, as you know, where you doubt your mission or your goal. And you're like, am I reaching the target audience? Am I telling people what needs to be heard for them to grab the information? Have I shared what they need to know? Like, sometimes you blame yourself. You're like, did I give enough in that interview with Mustafa to say, hey, this is why I support it? Did I cover everything? And I can't. My website is very detailed. I can't cover everything in an hour-long interview. I'm grateful for the time and space that you're giving me to share, but there's no way I can go over everything that it encompasses and everybody that it saves. But I'll say this, and as business owners, you do that. And that's what hurts me, is because we know that we want to give our best, and then people exploit us or use us, and we're stuck without a platform. Anybody that knows sports, and I'm a sports fanatic, they know that you have to have an even playing field. There are so many websites for consumers. There's so many avenues that they can go to defame a business, a corporation, a person. But there is very limited resources for us to gain that population back and say, hey, I have this that I do, I have this that I do, and I do it wonderfully. And that is why I allow, which is the Premium Member Club. And if you think about BBB accreditation, that's just what that is. It allows you to say what your business is and what makes you good, what makes you the best digital marketer is. Why is your podcast and your interviews really good? Why should I watch your interview? I only have much time in a day. Why should I spend time watching Mustafa Talks Tech? So that is why the Premium Member Club was invented, because I'm like, not only can you talk about what may have happened to you in a client experience, but let's talk about your business, how wonderful it is. You always want to even out the playing field when you're in a business setting. It takes one bad review. It takes 10 good reviews to cover up one bad review. So imagine saying something negative about you. And you're my brother, I wouldn't do that. I don't have any odd in my heart against you. But let's just say, for example, I wanted to do that. It would take so much for you to regain that audience back just because I did that. So guess what? You can highlight all of the things that you've done in the Premium Member Club. You can say, literally, I've done this, this, and this. $29 a year.
Wow. You get, when you said 20, I thought you were going to say a month.
So
but you're talking about in a whole year.
Mr. Watson, you interviewed him, and I spoke to him about TV, because every commercial that I've tried to pay for is $10,000 for a 30-second segment, and it's only in that zip code. TV advertising is really expensive. So I met with him based off of your interview to talk to him about monetizing some of my stuff that I do so that I can get it widespread. And he was like, no. And so what he said to me is, I would not, because it was $100 a year, it was $99.99. He said, and I said, I reduced it. I reduced the price to get more people in the community, because if you tell somebody else about it, word of mouth spreads. So if you say, oh, it's only $29.99 a month, I'm in a year. And he said, I thought you was going to say a month. And he kept repeating a month, and I had to keep correcting him. And I said, no, it's not a month, it's a year. And he said, and then when he finally caught on, because you say something so many times, and when I correct him, I correct him like 3 or 4 times. And he finally said, oh, you're saying a year? He said, no, ma'am. He said, no, ma'am, all the fees that you're paying and all the research and all the stuff that you're doing to get this information to us, and you're not even getting paid for it? I said, I know. And he said, no. And I said, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to honor that price for right now. I said, but I will go back to the original price. And he said the same thing. He said, if people don't buy into this at $29.99 a year, they are out their mind. And I was like, because he's older than us, so and I'm from the country, I'm from the South, so we have to be respectful. So I just listened to him kind of chew me out for a minute, and I said, because we don't talk back, and I was like, okay. So I said, I agree. I said, but the best way to build a community is if they see what I offer at a lower price, and then they see the value in it, and then they share it with somebody else. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want the community feel. But he said the same thing. He said just what you just said. He was like, I thought you was going to say a month. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. It's a year. I've lowered it just so I can get people to experience it. Because I believe if they see the value in it, they're going to want to share it with everybody else. And the more people that we tell and the more information that we have about these people that are doing stuff that's wrong, the better the community will be. You got another question for me? I know I keep answering the question and then over answering it.
No, you're doing absolutely fine. So this is everything that I thought it would be and then some. But I just wanted to comment that going back to Mr. Vernon Watson, that was a really good interview for me. He gave a lot of great information, just like you're doing right now. And like I say, I do it for that reason, just so people can be educated. When he said that you can get on, Roku and Fire Stick for as little as $50 a month, my wheels started turning. I said, man, I could do that. I could afford that to get on TV.
Exactly.
And
when he brought a CDN, I have a CDN for my website, so I knew what he meant, but I didn't know what. Oh, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. But when you inquired about it, and I was able to link two Black business owners together, and then to hear the success story after where you told me I was able to talk to them and get the process rolling, that just really made me know it's all worth it in doing these interviews, because outside of the interview, Mr. Vernon Watson is in Pensacola, Florida. You never would have heard of him or met him outside of this interview. But because of the interview, that was beneficial to you. You met him, he met you. Now y'all linked up and y'all moving forward. So that was it. Go ahead.
I believe in giving flowers. I publicly praise and privately reprimand. I believe in giving flowers. I will say this. There's a lot of things you could do on your Sunday afternoon that would not have anything to do with this. But what I feel like happens is we get inklings of things to keep going. So again, you did an interview with him. Unbeknownst to you, you didn't know me at the time. You were trying to get to know me through my press release, but you didn't know me. I watched because I want to know who you were before I intertwine. Because it's just certain people you don't want to deal with in business. You just don't. So I studied your interviews and your interviewing, skills and techniques. And I was like, he's really easy to talk to. He doesn't try to throw shade or try to overtalk someone. And then I got the information about Mr. Watson through you. So I want to encourage you, the same way you encouraged me, you introduced me, you gave me my flowers. I want to encourage you that even if it only is one guest that can take away from what you're saying, that one guest can matter. I believe there's not too much information you can have. I believe information is so powerful. And you're right. I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about what he was offering. I didn't know anything about CDN as far as the TV, but there were certain nuggets that you repeated after he said it that was like, oh. And so I love how you interview because you highlight certain parts. You allow us to talk, of course, and I love to talk. If it's worthwhile conversation, of course. But you always highlight certain points and you bring it back to the forefront. You like, hey, that Google thing was important. The client experience is important. When you said that to Mr. Watson about the Roku, because everybody knows what Roku and Fire Stick is. That's like common. And you repeat it. I actually wrote a note. I had my phone. I texted to myself. I text myself that at that time. That's what I did. I didn't write a note. I text myself. And I was like, that is amazing. And you highlighted it. And then at the end of the interview, you said again, where he was located, the things that he's done since 1992. He's been in business since 1992. Just all those things that he encompasses just from his knowledge, day-to-day knowledge of doing this. So again, I want to give you your flowers and let you know this is important and this does matter. Again, the audience is going to grow. Anything you do, don't small beginnings. Anything you do is and you keep going and you're doing it for this reason. You're facilitating a space like this, a safe space, it's going to grow.
Absolutely. Well, we've almost cracked an hour, but I still have just maybe 2 questions left that I want to touch on. When I was reading about the website, I got to laugh. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, sis. But you highlighted the Karen and the Kevins. You got to tell us about the Karens and the Kevins. I mean, I laughed so hard, and I read it again today. And when I see the Karen and the Kevins, it just cracks me up. So if you will tell us about them Karen and Kevin.
Okay. So Karen customers are the one who may not affect you financially, but emotionally and spiritually. So what they do is they try to demean you. And Kevin is a male equivalent of that. A Kevin customer is like a Karen customer. And Karen is a term that's that's widespread for people who mind your business, who interfere with things that have nothing to do with them. They belittle and demean you. Kevin is the male version of that. So what we try to do as well, and if again, and I know you've studied the website, the Karen Kevin customers are there as well. So what they do is they may not steal from the store, but they'll come in and they'll start, pushing something or throwing the money at you or just making your day hard. If you say, hey, you need to prepay for your gas, I'm not going to prepay for my gas. I'm not a thief. Every interaction with them is difficult. They make it hard. You have the Karen people who won't let you into your own apartment building because they think that you can't afford to live there. You have the Kevin customers who see you, Kevin individuals who see you in a nicer vehicle, and they're trying to figure out how can you afford that. They see you in a swimming pool in a gated community. Do you live here? What's your address? They're the ones that harass you and demean you and make you feel like you're out of place. And we belong wherever we are supposed to be. And they want us to feel like we're not. You have those kind of people. So that's what the Karen Kevins are. They may not affect you financially. They may not ever do anything to your business, but they affect your peace of that day and your well-being because they come in and they're mocking you or they're making you feel insignificant or less than. And so that's what Karen Kevin customers do. Sometimes based on race, sometimes it's based on politics, sometimes it's based on just their general disdain for themselves. They're miserable and they want to project that misery to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Absolutely. But when I see it, I know where you're going with it, and I just laugh. I'm like, boy, she put that out there. Karen and Kevin. I said, come on, Karen and Kevin. We coming after you today.
and Amy customers are Jamie, meaning male and female, of people that don't want to pay full price for stuff. So they'll be like, oh, I didn't ask for extra fish, and they did. Or they didn't ask for extra side of mashed potatoes, and they did, so they can get free stuff. So it's like a lot of little lingos we have on the website as well, like the Jamie customer, Karen customer. So you'll learn all the lingo. You part of the community now, so you'll learn all the lingo.
Okay. Okay. As we get ready to wrap up, I just want to a lot was said, and I just want to say again that when I saw you, I had to have you on the show, and the interview has been all I expected and then some. That it was educational to me. I know it's educational to those that listen. I had one particular Facebook friend that she has been excited when she saw the profile. She was like, "Wow, I want to hear from her." So when I got you to agree to the interview, I tagged her like, "I got her. She's coming on the show," and she was just so excited that she
I would love to connect with her. I'm an open book. Anything I can share, especially for new entrepreneurs who are starting a new business, who want to learn how to make it a licensed business, trademark. Everything of mine is trademark and copyrighted. So I can show you how to do that. Anything that I know, if she wants to connect with me, connect. I will share whatever I know. I want to join the community, of course, but even if she didn't, I would still share with her what I know to help her grow her business, or even if she doesn't want to grow a business, just want to know about things that's going on in the community. I will share it with her.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you a question to just kind of sum everything up. If a business owner is listening, maybe they came in late or maybe they didn't catch everything. how again does LyingClient benefit that business if they just started, they've been in business for a while? Just if you'll break down in a few seconds or a minute or so, just give that elevator pitch of how does LyingClient help me? I'm as a prospect. How do you help me?
So there's about 5 areas that I cover really quickly. We give you information about someone that you have no information about, and that's called the client experience. We have real-time scam alerts that are posted immediately when a scam is happening. We get them from all over the United States, so they're not just local scams. They're not scams for one centralized area. It is all over the United States. Any scam that's happened, romance scams, financial scams from banks, employment scams. We also have an employee experience page where if you have an employee that wasn't the best employee who caused you a lot of problems, you can now find out about the employee, more of a background check than you can do anywhere else. We have anonymous posting. If you don't even want to post your business, but you just want to post what this person did, you can anonymously post your experience. We have Premium Member Club, which allows you to highlight your business. And we have the legal aid page, which shows you how to become an LLC, how to become a sole corporation, how to be identifiers. I'm a veteran. I have identifiers as a veteran. I'm on the sam.gov website because I have a government entity. I am small owned business, small owned women business. I hit all the identifiers for certain benefits. We show you how to do those paperwork and those forms. So the legal aid page is really great for anybody just starting a business. Anybody that's been in business, the employee experience, client experience, scam alerts, anybody in a professional atmosphere, even if you don't own a business, but you service someone in the community, you service the public at large. This is why you need to join LyingClient.com community. Has that been a minute? Did I keep it in a minute?
If you need to go a little further, go ahead.
No. I did it 5 points. I did them. I covered every point.
Okay.
I did. I was in my head. I was clicking them off. I was like, let me count them down. But no, I counted down and I covered the 5 points. And that is like you said, the simplified version of what we've been discussing for the past few minutes. That is what it covers. It is for new business owners, senior business owners, anybody that works in the public.
Okay. Well, sis, I think that's everything that was on my list to ask you. So in the last few minutes, I'm just going to give you the floor and let you freestyle. If there's anything that I didn't ask that you think need to be addressed or said, or if it's just anything that's off the top of your head you want to say in closing, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
I would like to say this. Even if you don't feel the need to share an experience that you had because you're embarrassed, think about the next business owner that you're going to protect by sharing this information and getting it out there. Sometimes we have to stop thinking about I and think about we and a team. So if you have encountered something that happened to you and you're embarrassed about it, think about the next person, how embarrassing that would be. And that's just on a financial end. But think about the fact that it could be somebody's safety. It could be somebody's life. And those are the things that I want us to think about and have as a takeaway when we walk away from this interview is let's start getting back to community, the foundation of caring about each other and building each other. One of the other great things that I like is networking, because what you don't know, another person may know. And it takes very, very, I forgot to share this. So on the website, there is a way to post on the website, and then it posts on your social media. So if you post on LyingClient, it'll go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit. I keep pronouncing that wrong. My son always corrects me. LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm missing some of them. I apologize. But there are ways that you can highlight what your situation is and get information through the LyingClient community on your own profile. I forgot to share that as well. So that's why I said it's a sophisticated website. It's many layers to it.
Really is.
Thank you. But yes, that is one thing I would like to add, is that there's a way for us to network outside of the website to gain that information for other people to have as well. So let's get back to the community mindset.
Okay. Well, sis, thank you so much for the time. We're just hitting on an hour. So I try not to keep people long. I know people have lives, but I just wanted to get this on record so that I can learn from you and just see you and hear from you. And thank you again on your
No, thank
journey.
you.
And
Thank you.
you know what you're doing is so selfless and so bigger than just being a money grubbing entrepreneur, that you're actually providing service to help so many people. And I just pray that your mission and your platform continues to grow, and maybe 5 or 10 years we can follow up with a follow-up interview, and we're talking about how big LyingClient has become and how big Mustafa Talks Tech has come, and we just catching up on the journey and how many people you have helped and how many people you have saved and made aware. That's how I'm thinking, that just seeing just what you're doing is bigger than just yourself as an individual and just money. That this is a mission, this is a calling. Like you say, this is something that is a passion that you can do. So with that, thank you again, and we'll go ahead and
Thank
close
you.
out this interview. And thank you everyone for tuning in and checking out this interview with our esteemed sister of LyingClient. We got on them LyingClients and some other people today. All right, so thank you. Be blessed.
You as well. Thank you.
Well, family, thank you again for tuning in to Mustafa Talks Tech. That was an exciting, great interview. It was educational to me. I pray and hope that it was educational to you. I got a few alerts that there may have been some stability issues. So if there was any connection issues with the interview where it was got choppy or something happened, I do apologize. We will work to make some corrections with that. We're working with imperfect technology, as you know, so hiccups do happen. But I hope for the most part that the interview came through clear and that you was able to hear all of the points that our sister was speaking on. Definitely follow up with her at LyingClient.com. As she said, you can subscribe for $30 a year, not a month, but a year. Definitely support the business. Definitely get involved. Check her out on social media, LyingClient. And yeah, if you're checking me out, if I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn tonight, if you're checking me out on Facebook and we're not connected by chance, go ahead and like and connect with me. If you're on LinkedIn and you're checking me out, go ahead and subscribe. If you're on YouTube checking me out after the fact, go ahead and subscribe and follow me. There's going to be many, many more interviews coming up in the future. There's going to be me going solo, breaking down and talking about things. And we're just going to continue to grow this community. We're going to continue to grow this platform. We're going to continue to just bring in brothers and sisters, people from the community that have diverse viewpoints and knowledge of tech and digital platforms and realities. And it's just going to be an educational and a great experience. And I'm just inviting you to join on with the experience. Okay, so again, with that, we're going to close out. Thank you for tuning in. This is Mustafa Talks Tech. Have a wonderful evening.